Hey, everybody, it's Adeniki. So excited to be back to talk to you today. I am your career coach, obviously, your purpose coach and career strategist. And today I wanted to come back and talk to you just a little bit more about telling your stories and interviews, how to nail that interview, because you need more than facts and figures just to nail your interview. And so, again, I'm just kind of piggybacking off of a recent presentation that I did for a group where we really talked about how stories really make the difference. Stories make all the difference whenever you're trying to really get into somebody engaged, really help to make them feel like they can relate to you, they can trust you, like they can understand you, and like they want to, get to know you a little bit better. And so we're going to talk a little bit more about how you can use stories in those interviews to really make a difference. Now, one thing that I know, and all the time that I've been doing this, again, I've done tons of interviews. I've been on the hiring manager side. Again, I've been on the coaches side, helping coaches to prepare, helping professionals to prepare for the interview. And so I've seen it on both sides. And one thing I know for certain is that facts and figures are not necessarily what gives you the job. Let me say that again. Facts and figures, credentials are not necessarily what makes the difference in the interview. Now, of course, they matter because you have to be competent. You have to show that you have the goods, that you have what it takes to be able to do the job. But you always want to consider when you're going into an interview, you're competing against dozens, possibly even, hundreds of different people. Well, and let's just be real, certainly most companies are not going to interview hundreds of people, but without question, you're going to be competing with several, if not maybe a dozen or more people typically in an interview. And so you have to come with more than just the facts or the figure. Here's what I know for sure is that if everybody has the same facts and figures, everybody has the same credentials and the playing field is level, that the two things that will really make the difference for you are likability and confidence. Let me say that again. Likability and confidence are the two things that can make or break you when it comes to that interview. So again, I want to talk to you a little bit about how to make sure that you not only bring the goods in terms of your skills and your credentials, but also you want to marry the facts and figures with emotions, okay? And let's not be scared of that. I don't want us to be scared of that because again, we just, many of us grew up in this corporate environment where you were supposed to be squeaky clean, professional, and professional meant, no personality, you're all business, you're corporate, you're sleek, there's no mess there. But that's just not how it is anymore. More and more now, employers really want to see people who are being their authentic selves and, who are really coming to the table and showing who they are holistically. And so let me just share with you that bringing that emotion, bringing those stories into the mix really make a difference. So again, likability and confidence are the two areas that you have to nail. Now, likability, let me go back to that. There's nothing that you can do to make someone like you. So let me just clear the air on that one. I am not saying that you should change yourself or, do some things to try and make somebody like you. That's just not going to happen, okay? But there are some things that you can do for the right people where your likability is already going to be in place. And that means that comes back to the authenticity. Okay. You have to just make it up in your mind that some people are going to like you and some people aren't. It doesn't matter what you do, which way you flip. When you flip the one way, some people are going to like you, some people aren't. When you flip the other way, some people are going to like you, some people aren't. So you have to make it up in your mind that you're going to be authentic no matter what. And that's where likability comes in. Some people are going to love when you're being yourself, and that's going to be a natural draw. So stick to authenticity. It's the best way to go. You're going to get connected with the right company when you stick to authenticity. Confidence, okay? Now, again, confidence stems from a lot of different things. It obviously stems from being prepared, from knowing what you're talking about, from feeling like you're the expert. But it also stems from a deep passion for the work that you're looking to do, for the fact that you have a true interest, that you love the mission, that you love the product, that you are really excited about what a company is trying to do. Confidence comes from a lot of different areas. And so you have to make sure that you are selecting companies where you can naturally be your most comfortable self. Okay. And that's where confidence is going to come in. So again, I want to just talk to you a little bit about emotions and how to weave that in, how to weave in those stories and draw on emotions. Because when that hiring manager is sitting across from you, you don't want them, you don't want them to just look at the facts and figures. You want to evoke an emotional response from them where they're like, oh my God, I have got to have that person on my team. Oh my God, I would love to be able to talk to that person more. You want an emotional response, not just a, okay, yeah, they checked all the boxes. If that's all they're saying about you, then there's no guarantee that you're going to get through the door. It really is our emotional responses, the things that we respond to emotionally, that move us and that motivate us. So let's talk a little bit about that emotional response. And I'm going to actually share my screen here with you. I'm excited to be able to get on Zoom and kind of share my screen. It's a beautiful feature. Okay, and I'm going to share my screen here, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. So the one thing that I love, and let me just go ahead and do a slideshow for you here. No, I'll just leave it like that, actually. The one thing that I love is I always like to use the car analogy whenever I'm talking about these types of things, because, for those of us who, if you love cars, then I think you'll get this. I'm not a huge car person, but I do know what I like. So when you're buying something, okay, so let's say you're buying a car, there are certain things that you're just gonna wanna, you're gonna wanna have in place. You want a car that's dependable. You want a car, obviously, that fits within your budget, that's high reliability, has great service, gets great mileage. That's a no-brainer. But again, I like to tell people, if that's all it took was, right mileage, dependability, reliability, and things like that, then listen, we could have stopped at the T model, the Ford T model, because it has everything we need, right? It's going to get us from point A to B. It's going to pretty much be dependable, maintenance wise. There are going to be some things that every car is going to have. That's the logical side. But most of us, like I said, when you're talking about a car, you probably have a car in your mind that really sticks out to you, whether that's a Lexus, a Maserati, a Beamer, whatever that looks like, a Range Rover, or you might be more practical and just love the Honda Prius or something really practical. But my point is, there's a certain car that you probably have your eye on, and it evokes a certain emotion because of the appearance, right? Because of the name, okay? Honda might evoke, or Toyota, or like I said, whatever that company name is, Lexus, that name is going to evoke a certain emotion from you. Again, how it handles the luxury class, the exclusivity, whatever that is for you, there's an emotional response to it. I can tell you right now the type of car that I want. Chocolate, a deep chocolate GMC Yukon Denali 2016 or higher, with leather interior, sunroof. I already know this. I have it written down on my goal sheet, on my vision board. Okay, so I already know what I want, and it evokes a certain feeling in me whenever I talk about that. So you want to think about that same thing whenever you're thinking about doing interviews, because again, it's not just about the facts and the figures, it is about the emotion as well. So let me give you an example of what I am talking about. Okay, if we were to kind of tell a story, okay, I want you to look at these two stories here. So you sit down in front of the hiring manager, and they ask you a question. And the logical response, okay, they ask you a question about what are your strengths? What can you bring to the team? The logical thing is you go to the job description and you say, I read over the job description. I see you're looking for someone who has technical expertise, is a good communicator, and works well with teams. I meet all those requirements, and I believe I would be a good fit, okay? So technically, you may have checked all the boxes, but if I'm the hiring manager and I'm sitting there and I listen to that, I don't feel anything, okay? I don't feel anything. So yeah, you checked all the boxes, but again, I'm not super excited, to kind of push for you. I'm not super excited feeling like, oh, I have to have this person on my team. There's nothing that really stands out there, okay? But that's the logical side. And a lot of people get stuck on the logical side. I have a bachelor's degree, I have a master's degree, I have a PhD, I have 20 years of experience. All those things are great, and all those things matter. But again, you're looking to make sure you're adding the storytelling and the emotional, get that emotional response from the hiring manager. So let's look at an answer that might be slightly more of a story and that might evoke more of an emotional response. Okay, they ask you that same question. You might say something like, well, I consider the team that I work with as a part of my extended family. And as such, there are 3 things that I feel will not only help me add to the value of the organization from a mission and a profit standpoint, but I also feel like I can really add a lot of value from a culture standpoint and really help you attract the best teams. Now, my ears are all open because they've talked about adding value from a profit and a mission perspective. and helping me to create a culture where I can attract the best people. Already, I'm excited. I'm on the edge of my chair. So they might go on to say something like, well, the first of my skills that I want to share with you is my interpersonal skills. I really enjoy making connections that make the team stronger. And I've done that by becoming a super user for new technologies, setting up training sessions for my teammates who needed additional support, creating guides from scratch to help with the onboarding process. And I'll just share with you that I've locked in friends for life for bringing in the best snacks as often as I can imagine. Now that's probably going to get a little chuckle, but the point is there was so much story in there. There was personality in there. And I actually felt something. I felt humor. I felt connected, excited, intrigued. I wanted to know more. So these are the things that are going to make the difference for you whenever you're doing interviews. So make sure that you are telling stories that not just have the facts and the figures, but also evoke that emotion. So guys, I hope that this was helpful for you. Again, when you're preparing for those interviews, again, it's all about, holistically who you are as a person, bringing that all to the table. So like I said, let's go past those facts and figures. Let's get into likability and help people to have confidence that you can do a great job and that you're going to be a good teammate. Okay. So hopefully that was helpful, guys. Again, it's Nikki McKenday, your purpose coach and career strategist. I'll be back to share more tips, tricks, advice on how to find work with purpose and joy, and how to really kind of make sure that you are standing out above all these other candidates out here going for that same role. All right, guys, talk to you soon. Bye-bye.